Hi, and welcome to BG Tumblers. To begin preparation for my tumbler, I sanded it, and if you'd like to know how I'm using this, go to my TikTok page, BG Tumblers. I have a short video out on how to build your own sander like I'm using right here. Next, using the epoxy method, I glittered my tumbler. After glittering, I used Rust-Oleum 2-time clear, sprayed it so that my glitter would not move around when I got ready to epoxy. So here I'm getting ready to epoxy my tumbler. I'm going to be using Mr. Nola's Speed Dry Epoxy. I mark my tumbler cups at 15 ml and 30 ml so that it's easier for me to see when I'm pouring in the epoxy. Even amounts, 15 and then at 30. I use my timer and I set it for 3 minutes so that after I put my gloves on and I start stirring, I know that my epoxy will be ready. It's going to turn cloudy, and then when it clears up, I'll know it's ready to use. Using metal stir sticks helps to reduce the bubbles when you're stirring up your epoxy. You want to make sure you go around the edges to pull anything into the middle so that it mixes really well. Next, I measure to make sure that my cup is on even and straight. After making sure that my cup is level, I begin to apply my epoxy. After putting my epoxy on, I use my torch again to get out any small bubbles. Next, I set my timer for 4 hours because that's how long it's going to take it to dry, and I use my small heater to help it along because after 2 hours, it's dry to the touch. Next, I've put all my vinyl stickers on using my Silhouette Cameo, and then I'm going to move from there, and I'm going to seal the vinyl using Quick Coat by Counterculture. I find that quick coat helps it seal easier. I only have to put 1 or 2 very light coats of it. I like this more than spraying it with the Rust-Oleum. It will hold down any of the vinyl that may pop up, and it gives you a minute to hold it down while it seals it. It also helps me to use less of my epoxy than I need to. And you put it on just like you put epoxy on. And it doesn't take that much. And if I have any left, I just pour it right back into the bottle for future use. I cut my heater on to help it dry along. Normally, I let it dry for about 15 minutes. And then I'll do a second coat, let it dry for another 15 or 30 minutes, and then I'm ready to epoxy. So here I'm preparing my epoxy again. I'm going to put my first coat of epoxy on. I am going to set my heater, let it dry. I will put a second coat of epoxy on, and it's only after this second coat of epoxy that I put on do I go in and I sand it if there are any bubbles or anything that needs to be sanded. And then I will dry it with some 90% alcohol, clean it and dry it with some 90% alcohol, and see how it goes from there. Again, after putting the epoxy on, I use my heat gun to quickly go over it to help pop any fine bubbles that are left. So here's my final tumbler. The customer's favorite color was pink, and she is also a cupcake baker, so she wanted pink. She wanted cupcakes. She wanted her nickname on the bottom of cheesecake, and I think it came out beautifully. So thank you for watching, and please join me, subscribe, and don't miss any of my videos. Have a great day. Until next time.